In 2021, China went from being a business hub and supply chain center to an industrial untouchable for much of the world. Why is that? Because a paranoid Xi Jinping conducted a barbarous assault on private enterprises in the country to tighten his weakening grip on the nation. China, which was until recently seen as the country which would overtake the United States to become the most powerful economy of the world, has today been reduced to just any other failed socialist state which faces energy shortages and a food crisis. China would have been in a better position had Xi Jinping not dismembered the largest drivers of the country's economy one by one. But he did, and he isn't planning to stop anytime soon. This is the story of China's tech sector in 2021, and it's not going to get any better in 2022. Hi and welcome. You are watching TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host, Sanbir Ranhotra, and in this video, I will tell you why 2021 was a horrific year for Chinese tech companies. Let's begin. It has been the year of crackdowns in China. Under the Chinese Communist Party of General Secretary Xi Jinping, anything under the sun can be banned. Businesses, private education, religion, video games, startups, and even karaoke songs. They can all be banned anytime. It's the season of bans and crackdowns in China, you see. In fact, the CCP is strong enough to decimate entire industries, like it did with the real estate, tech, and edtech sectors. All said and done, no industry of China has suffered this year as much as the tech sector has. 2021 has been unforgiving for China's tech giants as the CCP's hammer and sickle were used to dismember one tech company after the other. It all started when Xi Jinping gave new powers to China's State Administration for Market Regulation, or SAMR. Until November 2020, the SAMR was practically a toothless and useless watchdog. But something changed towards the end of 2020 as Xi Jinping decided to clip the wings of China's tech sector, its monopolistic behavior, and irrational wealth expansion tendencies. It was on Christmas Eve last year that Xi Jinping ordered SAMR to launch raids on Alibaba Group Holding. With this began the story of China's tech downfall. Nothing would ever be the same for the communist nation's tech sector. Signs of impending doom became clear when Jack Ma went missing in November 2020 after Xi Jinping pulled the plug on a mega IPO planned by Alibaba's fintech affiliate Ant Group. The IPO was worth $37 billion. In February this year, Beijing revealed new anti-monopoly rules for tech companies. These rules would go on to become the biggest impediments for China's tech sector throughout 2021 and a tremendous cause of pain for private enterprises in the country. In April, regulators slapped Alibaba with a $2.8 billion antitrust fine and ordered Ant Group to restructure itself with supervision from China's central bank. The CCP frowns on Chinese companies seeking overseas IPOs. So, when ride-hailing giant Didi launched its $4.4 billion IPO in the United States, Chinese regulators banned the company from app stores in July. ByteDance, which is the owner of TikTok, put its own foreign IPO on hold after witnessing the massacre underway in China. Next came the turn of cryptocurrencies. In September, China banned cryptocurrency transactions. No Chinese institution can now deal with cryptocurrencies and no fund manager is allowed to invest in them. In November, China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology ordered Tencent to suspend the upgrading of its apps and demanded the tech firm submit new ones for approval. Banking on the coronavirus-driven lockdowns and social distancing measures, the Chinese edtech sector experienced extraordinary growth and allured some 84,000 new operators last year alone. The technology-driven education stocks bagged investments totaling 106 billion yuan in that period. This was a direct challenge to Jinping's attempts at securing his rule. So, the CCP banned edtech sector companies from teaching school curriculum, making profits, raising capital, or going public. This shut all doors for these companies to make any form of capital and for investors to get their desired exits. Larry Chen, the former school teacher who became one of the world's richest people owing to China's edtech sector growth, lost his billionaire status moments within Xi Jinping cracking the whip on the sector. The tycoon's net worth tumbled from $16 billion to just about $230 million in a matter of 6 months, which is a wealth evaporation of 99%. In August, Beijing also banned teens and young adults from playing video games for more than 3 hours each week to prevent gaming addiction. This proved to be a major upset for gaming giants like Tencent and others from the tech sector. Now, take a guess. How much do you think the tech sector of China lost in trying to dodge the many bullets being fired towards it by Xi Jinping and his agencies? $800 billion. That's right. The tech sector has suffered the most when it comes to the CCP's war on private enterprises and businesses. China's largest companies, which were major drivers of the country's economy, have lost close to $1 trillion in terms of market capital over the past 1 year. If anybody thinks that China is done waging a war in its tech sector or on private enterprises as a whole, they are living a lie. By all decent calculations, Xi Jinping's crude socialist policies are only beginning to unfurl themselves.